I'd like to introduce our scholar in residence for this weekend. Shoshana Levine is a second-year student at the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, where she also serves as a resident director and Jewish Life Director for graduate students. She's passionate about building inclusive and vibrant Jewish communities on campus and beyond. This past year, Shoshana was a fellow in the third cohort of the Flesh Family Sinai Temple Israel Center Rabbinical Fellowship, participating in monthly cross-denominational cohort gatherings alongside students from seminaries across the country, and culminating in an Israel trip, which I co-led in this past May. That's how I know Shoshana. Originally from Los Angeles, Shoshana is an alumna of Sinai Kiba Academy and the Milken Community High School, where her love for Jewish learning and community first took root. She went on to attend the University of Arizona, graduating summa cum laude, and earning dual bachelor's degree in Judaic Studies in Sports and Society. Before beginning her studies at JTS, Shoshana worked at the PJ Library and Young Adult Programming Manager at the Jewish Federation of Orange County, and was an active resident of the Orange County Moishi House for 2 years. She also grew up at Sinai Temple in Los Angeles. Shoshana is honored to be a part of the JTS and Baptist program and looks forward to sharing her Torah and connecting with us with Sharei Kodesh this year. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Shoshana for her Dvar Torah, and then she'll be teaching a lunch and learn after services.
Shabbat Shalom. First of all, Mazel Tov to Shayna and Chris and baby Leora Rivka. Huge Yasher Koach to you both as parents. She's so cute. I'd also like to thank Rabbi Baum and all of you as the Kahal for welcoming me into your shul this Shabbat. It's truly an honor to share my words of Torah with you over the course of this Shabbos. Earlier this month, I attended a training to become a member of the Reform Community Chevra Kadisha, one of only 4 non-Orthodox Chevrot Kadisha in the New York City area. Through this training, we learned about the sacred process of preparing a body for burial, work done with tenderness, dignity, and profound respect. One of the most memorable parts of the training was learning about the tachrichim, the traditional Jewish burial linens, simple white shrouds. These are plain, unadorned, modest clothes, and yet these garments are created as a parallel to the descriptions of the clothing we got in this week's Parsha for the priests and the high priest especially. I did not know that the clothing we are buried in mirrors the clothes of the priests, and I was surprised by the symbolism. And yet, when we read Parashat Tetzaveh this morning, we encountered dozens of verses about clothing. The Torah commands, "Ve'asita vigdei kodesh le'aharon achicha lechavod u'tif'aret." Make sacred garments for your brother Aaron for glory and for splendor. These clothes are woven with gold, blue, purple, and crimson yarns. The high priest wears a golden breastplate and adorns his head with a gold forehead plate engraved with the words Kodesh Ladonai, sacred for God. So, what do these garments, these magnificent priestly vestments, the humble burial shrouds, and the clothing we wear every day teach us about who we are? What might they reveal about how clothing shapes not only how others see us, but how we understand ourselves? Our Parsha focuses almost entirely on Aharon and his sons, the Kohanim, and the garments that they will wear in their sacred service. Here, clothing is not incidental. It is central to their daily avodah, their service to God. Before Aharon ever offers incense, makes a sacrifice, or blesses the people, he must be properly dressed. The Torah is explicit. Clothing transforms role and identity. Here, garments are not merely decorative, they are transformational. Aharon becomes the Kohen Gadol through donning them. The Torah states, Ve'asu et bigdei Aharon lekadsho lekahano li. And make Aharon's clothes to sanctify him, to be a priest for me. The clothing itself sanctifies, it sets the Kohanim apart. Wearing these garments prepares the priests spiritually and physically for the work they must do externally. We can understand this intuitively in our own lives. Think about uniforms you may wear or encounter. A police officer carries authority in a way they may not, wearing jeans and a sweatshirt or plain clothes. A judge's robes signify gravitas, reverence for the law and authority. A doctor's scrubs and long coat signal years of training and imbue trust in their patients. Even children feel this way when they put on sports jerseys to match their teammates, or when they reach a milestone and graduate, donning their caps and gowns. School uniforms have been viewed positively by administration to level the playing field when clothing can be used as a status symbol for students from different socioeconomic backgrounds, or to enforce a shared sense of identity as peers and classmates. However, they may also make students feel like they are unable to express themselves creatively, limiting their outward artistic presentation of self. Uniforms make us stand differently in the world. They shape our behavior and create expectation. Clothing often becomes the bridge between who we are privately and how we move publicly in the world. And the Torah recognizes that what we wear shapes how we act. This is perhaps most powerfully expressed in the description of the high priest's breastplate, the Choshen Mishpat. Aaron is commanded to wear it over his heart when he enters the Holy of Holies on Yom Kippur. It bears the names of 12 tribes engraved on 12 precious stones. In wearing this breastplate, Aharon carries the Israelites close to his heart, drawing them nearer to God. The weight of the Choshen Mishpat must serve him as a reminder of his responsibility to the nation. Clothing in Torah is deeply tied to memory, and this idea is not confined to the Kohanim. Later in the Torah, we are commanded to wear tzitzit on the corners of our garments, so that uritem oto uzchartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, so that we shall look upon them and remember all the commandments of God. These strings act as a gentle nudge, a reminder that we live in relationship with God. If we wear a talit, there is a moment each morning when we gather it around ourselves and recite a blessing. For those who wear a talit katan, tzitzit are tied to a beged, which literally means item of clothing. A garment becomes a guide. The physical sensation, the weight of the fabric, the brushing of the fringes can shift our mindset. We are stepping into a moment of sacred commandedness. Others may wear different visible daily ritual items like a kippah or other head covering. For me, this takes the form of a headband rather than a traditional kippah. It's a small thing, but when I put my headband on each morning as I get dressed, I mark a transition. My head covering reminds me that I live each day reaffirming my commitment to Hashem, taking on all mitzvot, the yoke of the commandments. These items matter because they act as symbols for leading a visible and public Jewish life. And then there's Shabbat and Yom Tov. Many of us may have grown up with the idea that we dress differently for Shabbat. Some families have the custom or minhag to wear a separate wardrobe entirely. Clothes that are worn only on Shabbat and Yom Tov. Others have a minhag to buy a new outfit for Yom Tov, marking the holiday with something beautiful and special. Why? Because clothing can help us cross thresholds. When we change into our Shabbat clothes, We are not simply changing into a different and typically nicer outfit. We are shifting our consciousness and intention into Shabbat mode. As the week filled with its errands, emails, homework, and deadlines fades away, we step into Shabbat, hopefully able to temporarily leave behind the stresses of our day-to-day and position ourselves into a mindset of rest and abundance. Our outfits themselves become part of the ritual of bringing in Shabbat or Yom Tov. They announce to us and to those around us, this is a different time and space. When we put on a nice outfit, it tends to make us feel good. There's something to be said about dressing for success. We probably all know the feeling. There's a sweater or a shirt that fits just right, a pair of jeans that make you feel at ease in your body, a suit or a dress that makes you stand a little taller. Clothing can shape posture, confidence, and presence. Psychologists refer to this phenomenon as enclothed cognition, the idea that what we wear influences how we think and behave. The Torah seems to understand, thousands of years ago, this very concept. If you dress someone in garments of holiness, perhaps they will rise to meet the occasion of holiness. I'd like to return to the tachrichim, our burial garments. At the Chevra Kadisha training, we learned that every Jew, rich or poor, is traditionally buried in the same simple white linen shrouds. No gold threads, no precious stones, just the linen. The garments include a tunic, pants without footholes or pockets, a face covering, a robe, and a belt, echoes of the priestly garments described in our parsha. The parallels are deliberate. In death, we are all like Kohanim. The simplicity of the shroud acts like its own uniform. It strips away any status, wealth, fashion, and trends we may have been privy to when we were living. And yet, by modeling them after the priestly garments, our tradition echoes something profound. Every human being is worthy of sacred dignity. For Yom Kippur, the height of his service, the high priest wears gold and gems, symbols of glory and splendor, kavod v'tifaret. But in death, we all return to white linen, symbols of humility and equality. This is realized on our own Yom Kippur today, when we may choose to wear a kittel or dress in all white, reminiscent of both the robes of the priest and the customary burial shrouds. These practices teach us something essential. Clothing can elevate as it equalizes. Perhaps this means we should take seriously the way we dress ourselves, not only physically, but spiritually and ethically. What uniforms are we putting on each day? What messages are our adornments sending to others and to ourselves? When we dress for work or school, do we feel confident and ready to carry out the tasks of the day? When we come to synagogue, do we allow our garments, whether formal or simple, to help us enter into prayer with intention? When we wrap ourselves in a talit or put on a head covering, can we take a pause and ask ourselves, what headspace am I stepping into now? And perhaps most importantly, can we remember that beneath all the symbols of our clothing, professional, social, ritual, or otherwise, we share the same basic right to human dignity. Our Torah invites us to see clothing not as mundane, but as sacred technology. Our clothes shape our identity, cultivate responsibility, mark time, and create intention. The high priest's golden headplate declared, Kadosh Ladonai, sacred for God. It sat on his forehead, visible to all. Most of us do not wear such explicit declarations, but we should strive to carry that inscription in our actions and the ways we move through the world. From the golden and jewel-laden breastplates to white shrouds, from school uniforms to Shabbat clothing, our tradition teaches that what we wear matters. It shapes how we see ourselves and how we serve others. May we be mindful of the clothing we choose to wear. May they help us rise to be our best selves. And may we always remember that whether clothed in our finest attire or in simple linens, we are each created B'Tselem Elohim in the image of God, worthy of dignity, purpose, and sacred responsibility. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.